Release That Witch. Episode 1. Prince, from today onward.
Your Highness, wake up.
Cheng Yan felt someone calling him. He turned his head away, but the voice only grew louder. A hand reached over and tugged gently at his sleeve.
Your Highness, Prince Roland.
His eyes snapped open. The familiar screen was gone. His office desk was gone. The walls plastered with sticky notes were gone. In their place, a bizarre sight. Low brick houses, a circular square swarming with people, and at its center, a wooden gallows. He was seated on a high platform facing the square. Beneath him was not his soft swivel chair, but something cold and hard as iron. Around him sat a ring of onlookers, every eye fixed on him. A few women dressed like medieval noble ladies were giggling behind their hands.
What is this place? Shouldn't I be rushing the blueprints right now?
His mind was a blank. 3 straight days of overtime had pushed his body and mind to their limit. All he remembered was his heartbeat turning erratic and laying his head on the desk for just a moment.
Your Highness, please, announce the verdict.
The speaker was the same man who had been tugging at his sleeve. An elderly face, 50 or 60 years old, dressed in white robes. At first glance, he looked rather like Gandalf.
Am I dreaming? A verdict? What verdict?
He soon had his answer. The crowd in the square was staring toward the gallows, fists raised and shaking, shouting without pause. Now and then, a stone or two flew toward the platform.
Hang the witch. Hang her.
He had only seen such ancient instruments of execution in movies. 2 wooden pillars, 4 meters tall, a heavy beam across the top, a rusted iron ring set into its center. A yellowed hemp rope ran through the ring, one end tied fast beneath the gallows, the other looped around the prisoner's neck. In this strange dream, his eyesight was astonishingly sharp. Without glasses, he normally could not even read the words on a screen. Yet now, 50 meters away, he could make out every detail of the gallows with perfect clarity. The prisoner wore a hood, both hands bound behind her back. Her rough grey shift was filthy as a rag. She was thin, so thin her exposed ankles looked like they could be snapped with one hand. The slight curve of her chest marked her as a woman. She trembled in the wind, yet still struggled to hold herself upright.
So, what crime did she commit to make all these people so eager to watch her hang?
The moment the thought formed, it was as if a switch had been thrown in his mind. Strange memories connected all at once, and the answer surfaced almost instantly. She was a witch, seduced by the devil, the very incarnation of the unclean.
Your Highness?
He glanced at the old man. Ah, not Gandalf, Barov, assistant to the Minister of Finance, sent to help him handle his administration. And he himself was Roland Wimbledon, 4th Prince of the Kingdom of Greycastle, sent here to govern this land. The people of Bordertown had caught a witch and dragged her straight to the tribunal. A writ of execution for a witch had to be signed by the local lord or by a bishop. And since he ruled here, signing it was his duty. The memories presented every answer he needed, one by one, as if he had lived them himself. Cheng Yan wavered. No dream could possibly hold this much detail, so this was not a dream. He had crossed into the dark ages of another world, and he had become Roland. From an overworked draftsman to a genuine 4th prince.
Never mind how something this unscientific happened. I can study that later. This barbaric farce ends now. Blaming disaster and misfortune on some poor soul is what uncivilized people do, but hanging her just to feed a crowd's cruelty? I will not allow it.
He snatched the writ from Barov's hands and threw it to the ground, then stretched lazily.
I'm tired. We will pass sentence another day. Everyone, disperse!
It was not recklessness. He had carefully savored the prince's memories and replayed that willful, spoiled swagger. Yes, the 4th prince truly was like that. Foul-tempered, acting on every whim. What could anyone expect from a 20-year-old prince with no one to keep him in check? The nobles seated on the platform wore looks of complete unsurprise. Only a tall man in armor stepped forward.
Your Highness, this is no jest. Once a witch's identity is confirmed, she must be executed at once. What if other witches come to rescue her? If the church hears of this, they will not stand idly by.
Carter Lannis. This righteous-looking man was, of all things, his own chief knight.
What? Are you afraid?
The naked mockery in his voice was no longer entirely an act. A brute whose arms were thicker than that girl's whole body, worried she would be broken out of jail. Did he truly take witches for the devil's own heralds?
If a few more witches show up, we will catch them all at once. Wouldn't that be even better?
Carter fell silent. Roland waved a hand and signaled the guards to escort him away. After a moment's hesitation, Carter followed the party, walking at the fourth prince's side. The other nobles rose and bowed, but from the corner of his eye, Roland caught the undisguised contempt in their gaze. Back at the castle, south of Bordertown, he ordered the guards to keep the anxious minister's assistant outside the Great Hall, and finally let himself breathe. For a man who spent 90% of his life facing a computer, pulling off that performance was far beyond his best. Following memory, he found his bedroom, sat down on the bed, and waited a long while for his pounding heart to settle. The top priority now was to understand his situation. He was a prince. Why was he not in the capital? What was he doing in this desolate backwater? The moment the question arose, the answer left him dumbstruck. Roland Wimbledon was here to fight for the throne. It all began with a bizarre decree from the King of Greycastle, Wimbledon III. To inherit the kingdom, the firstborn had no special claim. The throne would go to whoever proved most capable of ruling. He had sent his 5 grown children to govern 5 separate territories. In 5 years, the one with the best results would be named heir.
Merit-based succession, and gender-blind at that. Sounds progressive. In practice, who can guarantee everyone starts equal? This is not some strategy game. Even the second prince's land is far better than Bordertown. No, wait. Of the 5 of us, nowhere is worse than Bordertown. A losing start from the very first minute.
And how would good governance even be judged? Population? Military? Economy? Wimbledon III had named no standard and set no limits. And if someone resorted to assassination in secret, what then? Would the Queen simply watch her children slaughter one another? He searched his memory. Fine. More bad news. The Queen had died 5 years ago.
A savage, dark, feudal age. The witch hunts alone prove that much. Being reborn a prince is already a high starting point. Even without the throne, I am still of the king's blood. As long as I survive, a title and lands will make me a lord either way. And even if I became king, what then? No internet, no modern civilization. Would I end up like these natives, burning witches for sport, living in a city where filth is dumped in the streets, and finally dying in a plague?
He pressed the chaotic thoughts down and walked to the full-length mirror in the bedroom. The man in the mirror had light grey curls, the unmistakable mark of the Greycastle royal family. His features were decent enough, ruined only by a roguish, shiftless air. His face was a little pale, short on exercise. As for wine and women, he searched his memory. It seemed fine. He had kept a few willing lovers in the capital. He had never forced anyone. As for why he had crossed over, Cheng Yan had a rough guess. A merciless client pushing deadlines, a boss ordering all-nighters, and a death by overwork. The usual victims of such cases were coders, engineers, and draftsmen like him. Enough. However he looked at it, this was at least a second life. He had no right to complain. Perhaps, in time, he could slowly change this world, but the first task was to play the fourth prince flawlessly, to let no one see through him, or he would be called demon-possessed and tied to the stake himself.
Since that is how it is, first survive.
He drew a deep breath and spoke softly to the mirror.
From today onward, I am Roland,